Hey, Jody, thanks for coming back and learn a little bit more about cognitive ergonomics.
Hey,
You ready for
Jeff,
that?
I am ready.
Cognitive ergonomics is a new lens that reveals, as we say, accommodations, many things that are hidden in plain sight. And so I want to walk through something that a cognitive ergonomics has derived that might kind of catch you a little bit off guard, but listen to the logic. This is, by the way, it's an axiom, which is a complicated word, but it's a truth that's built on other truths, right? And it goes like this. ADHD is an executive functioning impairment. By the way, if it's not an impairment, you can just throw this out the window. Executive functions, according to Dr. Barkley, which is the model we use, are a collection of mind tools that we use to solve problems. Problems have two characteristics. They tend to be multifaceted, and there's a level of ambiguity. So planning, making decisions, managing time, figuring out what your priorities are, they're all multifaceted and ambiguous. So now, logically, we understand why people with ADHD struggle with all that. Ready?
Okay.
Here's the cool part. We're going to make a turn. It's generally accepted by scholars that language was derived for one reason and one reason only: to solve shared problems. Think about that. Had we not had shared problems, language would never have evolved.
Mm.
When you think about it, when it originally evolved, direct communication, direct collaboration was the most basic form of communication thousands of years ago. So when you think about this is pretty profound. We have direct communication today. Neurotypicals do, and people with ADHD do all the time. But here's the thing: if ADHD is an executive functioning impairment and we use those to solve problems, wouldn't it make sense that people with ADHD need more direct communication and collaboration than the neurotypicals?
Yeah, that makes so much sense. Um, yeah,
And here's what's really, really cool. We're using this to advocate because if this is true, it changes public policy. And all the coaches out there, when the kids come in, your coaches in October with their report cards, and the teacher's saying, well, Johnny's okay, but he needs to have more independent work. We can begin to realize that that's moving them in the wrong direction. And they're well intended, but they're almost shaming the kids in a sense because they're trying to get them to do something with their weakness in order to overcome their weakness. We can begin to use this and illuminate that, hey, no, they need to collaborate because that's an accommodation to make it easier. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But it's hard to think that a direct oral conversation is an accommodation. But, think about it, Jody. The field of coaching originated for one reason only: people were stuck. They didn't need to go to therapy, and they were just stuck. And so the Socratic method of asking questions. You're a CTI graduate and I'm a CTI graduate. The answer's in the question. The whole field of coaching was derived for direct oral conversation to help other people solve problems. It's kind of cool how it kind of comes back to that. Make sense?
it absolutely does. And when I think of students working, when they put tables together or desks together,
Mm-hmm.
not only is it a bit of a body doubling, but they are comparing notes, they're checking in. So that direct communication is a part of the learning process. And it doesn't matter whether they're children or adults,
Yep.
having that collaboration is part of the learning and absorbing information
Yep.
for people who are struggling with executive functioning.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
So I mentioned to everybody, leave some comments and thoughts. We'd like you to share. Does this make sense to you? Does it not make sense to you? Again, cognitive ergonomics is a new lens and challenges. I mean, I'm here to do that. So please ask questions. And Jody, we'll do another one of these soon. Does that work?
Great. Thanks, Jeff.